Joining us now is Anna Schechter. She oversees CBS News' Crime and Public Safety Unit. Anna, thank you for being here. So while we're waiting for a statement overnight from the Peanut County Sheriff, early this morning they said that the FBI requested that they not make any information available to the press. What's going on here?
Well, the sheriff is transmitting to his community who are begging for answers. Why is there all this activity? I mean, there was a chopper overhead, major police presence from multiple local agencies there, and people were on social media asking. We also had a media staging area. We were expecting a press conference late last night, and then that went away. So the sheriff is saying, look, I want to give you guys information, but the FBI is telling me not to. And this has been kind of a through line that has been happening ever since 2 weeks ago when she went missing, where the sheriff is making a lot of statements and the FBI saying, whoa, 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 don't say so much. So there's a little bit of push and pull there. The FBI is all over this case. This is the highest profile crime story in the country, and so they are all over this. But the sheriff is the only one who's been giving these interviews and these statements.
I have to say, the sheriff has been quite forthcoming, and as news media from the very beginning, and that's obviously refreshing for what we do. And a lot of people want to know information, but at the same time, there's an investigation going on. So I understand the push and pull. Let's talk about the evidence, because at this point, now that it's been 2 weeks, there is quite a bit of evidence. We have the doorbell camera, we have DNA found at the home, we have the backpack, these potential gloves that were found. How are investigators now putting all those pieces together? And when might we know if there's a DNA match to someone in some kind of database?
This is a great question. All of those things that you just listed are all separately on sort of in different buckets, and they're not tied together pointing to a specific suspect yet. So with the DNA, what they do is they test that. It's not like there's an immediate positive identification of an individual linked to the DNA. And even if there was, like Nancy Guthrie, where they had a sample, maybe they had a hair follicle sample, they knew what to make the match. You have to have something to match it against. And so even if they're testing that glove and they get some DNA, or they're testing something else, they think they might have a sample DNA, it's not going to necessarily pull up a name and a photo of an individual. That's not how it works.
So what's likely going on this morning in that neighborhood? As Andrea says, there was a flurry of activity. It's relatively quiet now. Does that suggest that the investigators found something there and they're analyzing it, or does it suggest that it was just a false alarm?
Well, there was enough activity overnight that this was not just a tip they were following up on. They had to have a search warrant. That means that is court ordered. They had to present why they wanted to do this search, why they wanted to detain and talk to an individual or individuals. And it appears that they ran that down, and there's nothing definitive enough that would crack this case and close it. What I suspect is going to happen today is they're going to be interviewing neighbors. Neighbors were kept from going home last night until like midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern time. So we saw those cars going home. I bet that detectives are going to be talking to all those neighbors. Clearly, there was something about that house and that area that was serious enough that they wanted to go and, full court press on this.
Will news media really quickly have access to those neighbors in that neighborhood?
They do at this point. And that's another thing is FBI might be keeping people out. If it was really the suspect, wouldn't be allowed to go there. But right now, it's open for us to go and talk to people.
The mystery continues, and it is agonizing. I can't even imagine what Savannah and her siblings and the entire family is feeling right now.
Sending them love as always.
So much love. Anna Schechter with all the details. Thank you so much.